can I introduce the panel? To start off with here, we have Chris Quickfall, not a name I would have picked as an entrepreneur, but actually has been incredibly successful very quickly and is now with Invate. He's the UK's largest supplier of assistive technology. So that's our first panellist. David Johnson is the Managing Director of Venture to Think, which, and your background is as a psychiatrist, am I right? Psychologist. I beg your pardon, psychologist. So some profound insights into confidence and motivation. And then our third member of the panel is Nikki Gott, who I've already met before at an award ceremony where she was winning an award for her company, which she's an amazing story of how you set that up, and hopefully we'll hear a little bit more about that. And the fourth and final person on our panel, and the person who's going to run this session, is Ian Scott, who is comes with the name of Enterprise Anarchist. So please give a very warm welcome to Ian and our panel. Over to you, Ian.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The title is called Confidence and Motivation. So let me start off by saying I hate motivational speakers. I don't think they do any good whatsoever. And the only way you can get confidence when you start a business is to learn how to do it. And entrepreneurs are made, they're not born. So the key thing to this today is something I've been saying for years. No business starts with a plan. It starts with a conversation. Nobody says, oh, I remember fondly my first business plan. What a load of rubbish. Businesses start with other people because enterprise is a social phenomenon. It's about living and working with other people. So, on that basis, if no business starts with a plan, and if it starts with a conversation, I'd like you to do something quite radical. Get up off your feet, go and find somebody you've never met before, say who you are, what you're here for, and what you want out of today. Oh God, good Geordie response there. Can we have another shot at that? First thing, stand up and say hello to somebody you've never met before. This is Chance to Change, and that's exactly what it says, you know, like the advert. It's for people that have thought about starting a business and never done anything about it. And what we're going to do is get people to think about their networks. I'm going to do a session apparently on inspiration, but it's really about why people start businesses. And then the last thing is about how to find a business idea. The aim's very simple. It's actually to make people think seriously about entrepreneurship as an option, because you can have a great life and you can have a great future, but you need to know yourself and you need to have the confidence to start taking it forward. Okay, can we have a seat, please? If you're absolutely fantastic, what you have just been doing is the sound of enterprise. Now, what we're going to do is pull out how and why people start businesses. And what I want to give you today is some things, and what we'll get the panel to start talking about is 5 things that have to happen to everybody before they start a business. Though you can do one of them, but you have to do the other 4 at some stage. The first thing, and the most important thing of the lot, is talk things through. There's an amazing American guy who's got a company called Wine Library, and he talks about conversating. He said, I conversate with thousands of people, and I like the word conversate. And he does that. He talks to everybody about wine and his business. But he's not just talking at them, he's talking with them, and he's listening, and he's judging reactions, and if somebody goes, ugh, Merlot, I don't like that, he goes, why do you not like that? And his little mind goes away going, people don't like Merlot because of this. Maybe if I change the title on our products, we could sell more of this. He talks, he listens, and he's continually developing himself. The second thing is, you have to test yourself. The biggest thing that can happen when you start a business is the decision to start a business. You've no idea when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen, but the biggest decision of the lot is, I'm going to do it. And Alan Sugar said something very revealing in one of his programs last year. He said, I think he was about 27 when he realized he didn't need anybody else. What he really meant was, it's something he could do and he wanted to do, and he had that confidence. Some people, it takes 30, 40 years. Some people, they're still wondering if they can actually be an entrepreneur and start their own business. But you're always testing yourself. But you know what? The only way to become an entrepreneur is to do something. Part-time, as a hobby, you can read books, you can talk to people, but you need to do something. The third thing is, you test your idea. Now, I'll tell you this. The idea that you think you have for your business is not going to be the business you end up with. That is without, that's why I am not a fan of business planning. You can't start a business with a business plan. A business plan is a very useful mechanism later on. But at the start of your enterprise journey, you are learning so much about you, business, people, who buys this, who doesn't buy this, that it's constantly changing. And people that follow a rigid business plan go bust because they're not flexible. The fourth thing is gather information and skills. Good entrepreneurs are the biggest tarts around. They will print themselves everywhere. They will go to everybody to get an answer that they want. They will talk to one table, another table, and another table. And that's why I asked you to start with a conversation, because the hardest thing in the world is to start. Networking's horrible. It's about selling, but I mean, oh God, it's a plastic badge and a warm glass of wine, and you've got to put yourself on the line, and and it's not. And actually, if you look at how we do business in Britain, you get the business card at the end. In Japan, they bow and they give you the business card at the bottom. Why do we give the business card at the end in Britain? Because we're not sure whether we like you or not. And we're going to make up our mind whether we want to do business with you before we give you that precious information. So it's a really interesting thing. So you've got to gather information. Use Business Link Online. Use the Entrepreneurs Forum resources. Use If We Can, You Can. Use all these things. And ditch what you don't want. Because nobody can help you start the business apart from yourself. You've got to take responsibility and you've got to drive it. There's shed loads of help and advice, and it comes in the strangest ways. But the decision and the responsibility is yours. And the fifth thing is you get a shock. And the biggest shock that people get is when somebody actually buys something. And sometimes it can happen after the conversation, where somebody turns around and says, oh, I'm looking for that. How much does it cost? And without fail, unless you're really geared up to that, everybody goes, and of course, because it's your business and your idea, you undersell yourself because we've not got the confidence to really push, but that comes later. So those are the 5 things that you need to start thinking about. So what brought you along to you today?
Hi, I'm Russell. I sold my business 3 years ago and went to follow my dream in Spain, which has got a bit boring, so I'm here with a completely open mind to see what's going on and whether I could be interested in starting another business.
I'm just looking at starting a business.
Why?
Because I want to work for myself.
Why?
Because I want to do something for myself that I have full control over. Or some control over at least.
The thing is, you start a business for personal reasons. And there's a really good phrase. The entrepreneur is a visualizer. They've got to see what they want out of it before they can actually do it.